Shishi, your level is increasing very quickly. I have a feeling that you will be able to return to the real world soon. I wonder if I will be able to meet you in the real world when I go back. Yu Wenwen. Shishi, let's try one more time. My lucky card has been restored. I've calculated that we have one last chance to pass the instance together. Yu Wenwen. Shishi, remember to tag me when you come back. Let's try again together. Keen Shishi was deeply moved as she looked at the message Yu Wenwen sent in the chat interface. She felt very lucky to have met such a close friend as Yu Wenwen in the horror world. Keen Shishi consulted the system to see if she truly did not have the right to choose an instance. After the message was sent, the system took a long time to respond before popping up an instance application form. Keen Shishi was overjoyed and quickly checked and filled in the information. Once the form is submitted, a message will be sent to the player indicating that approval will be granted in 3 days. Keen Shishi's attitude towards the overlord has changed somewhat this time. Since she can apply, she still has a chance to visit COCO at the Happiness Hotel. She was worried that after reaching SSS level instance, she and Jiangyi would most likely return to the real world, and she was really happy to be able to see Tao Xiaoxiao one more time before that happened. Keen Shishi waited for the system's feedback in her house. 3 days later, she received news that her application had been approved, and she excitedly sent a message to Yu Wenwen to tell her the news. The two agreed to enter Tao Xiaoxiao's Happiness Hotel at the same time the next day. Instance. Welcome to the horror instance, Happiness Hotel. Please complete the mission. Achieve a 5-star review from the customers. Friendly reminder. Replaying the instance will not grant any completion rewards. After Keen Shishi landed, the surrounding scenery was blurry, a gap period in the first 2 stages of an S-class instance that she hadn't experienced in a long time. Keen Shishi looked around, searching for Yu Wenwen. When she saw Yu Wenwen had already spotted her and waved happily, calling out, "Shishi, we're here." Keen Shishi looked over and noticed the "we" Yu Wenwen mentioned, only to realize that there was another person following behind her, Jiyu Hao. Keen Shishi greeted them with a smile. The 3 of them gathered together and realized they were missing a teammate. Keen Shishi remembered that when the previous team members cleared the instance, they had also brought Li Li along, so she asked in confusion, "Wenwen, didn't Li Li come with us?" Upon hearing this, Yu Wenwen glanced at Jiyu Hao and then explained to Keen Shishi, "I originally only wanted to come to find you by myself this time, and I didn't plan to bring Jiyu Hao and Li Li, but I failed and ended up bringing a big tail with me." Keen Shishi noticed the awkwardness between Yu Wenwen and Jiyu Hao and already had a guess in her mind. Yu Wenwen glanced at Jiyu Hao again, then pulled Keen Shishi away from Jiyu Hao to whisper something. Unexpectedly, Jiyu Hao tried to follow, but after being warned by Yu Wenwen, he stayed put and waited. Yu Wenwen, who had come to the side, lowered her voice and stammered an explanation to Keen Shishi. "Shishi, I haven't dared to tell you about this, it's just me and..." Seeing the difficulty Yu Wenwen was making, Keen Shishi calmly said, "You're with Jiyu Hao." Yu Wenwen looked at Keen Shishi in surprise and asked in confusion, "Shishi, how did you know?" Keen Shishi waved her hand, speechless, and said, "I'm not blind, I can tell that something's wrong with the 2 of you." "Okay, that's how it is. I was worried you'd scold me, since I promised you I wouldn't be Yu Wenwen if I went back to my ex." Yu Wenwen covered her face with her hands, feeling embarrassed. Keen Shishi looked at her amusedly and patted Yu Wenwen's arm. "Yeah, our Wenwen said back then that if you went back to your ex, you'd have to change your name to Yu Gugo, Doggy Yu. So, Yu Gugo, what are your thoughts now?" Hearing Keen Shishi say that, Yu Wenwen's face turned red. There was nothing she could do. She hadn't known her place and had made reckless promises. While they were having a pleasant chat, Keen Shishi suddenly realized that her next instance might be an SSS level instance. She looked at Yu Wenwen with some reluctance and decided to tell her about it on the last day of this instance. She should try to be happy these next few days and create some wonderful memories. Hello, you must be veteran players. My name is Shi Yong. A tall man dressed in a white shirt and black pants, with a neat buzz cut, interrupted Qin Shishi and Yu Wenwen's conversation. Seeing this imposing and burly man speaking in a soft, hesitant voice, as if he had mustered up all his courage to speak, Qin Shishi and Yu Wenwen exchanged a glance. Knowing that this instance allows users to view teammates' information, Qin Shishi and Yu Wenwen weren't surprised that Shi Yong knew they were veteran players. Ji Yu Hao, who was waiting for Yu Wenwen and Qin Shishi not far away, saw Shi Yong, who had been hesitating in the corner for a long time, walk towards Qin Shishi and Yu Wenwen. He followed him, wanting to see what the teammate matched by the system had to say. Although Yu Wenwen and Qin Shishi were puzzled by Shi Yong's contrasting image, they still greeted their teammates who showed goodwill out of politeness. Ji Yu Hao approached Qin Shishi and Yu Wenwen, his gaze coldly sweeping over Shi Yong, who stood beside them. As a fellow male, Shi Yong's first action upon entering the instance was not to greet or introduce himself to Ji Yu Hao, but instead to greet his two female teammates, Qin Shishi and Yu Wenwen. Coupled with his robust physique, he clearly wasn't a weakling, so Ji Yu Hao was very wary of Shi Yong. After Ji Yu Hao gave Shi Yong a few unfriendly looks, Shi Yong finally stammered, "You're Ji Yu Hao, right? Is there something wrong with me?" Seeing Shi Yong's timid and cowardly appearance, Ji Yu Hao had already nipped most of the possible thoughts that had just crossed his mind in the bud. He withdrew his unfriendly gaze and said calmly, "You have no problem." "Oh, that's good." Shi Yong nervously wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and breathed a sigh of relief. Shi Yong almost thought he had offended Ji Yu Hao somehow. The look in Ji Yu Hao's eyes made him feel uneasy. Because of his unique appearance, Shi Yong is often mistaken for a bad guy by his fellow players, so he always tries to greet them as soon as possible. Although he looks a little bit like a bad guy, he is kind-hearted and timid. Chapter 100. Chapter 140. Which eye of yours saw that I was unhappy? Oh, I see. You must be very tired, always being misunderstood like this. After hearing Shi Yong's explanation, Qin Shishi and the others looked at him with some sympathy. Shi Yong is nicknamed, "Don't mess with me," because he is strong and has a fierce appearance. People's first impression of him is that he is a bad guy and definitely not someone to mess with. In reality, he is actually a coward. He often does good deeds in the real world, but he still can't change the prejudice of strangers. Shi Yong was just passing by a fight involving a group of thugs. He was watching the commotion from the crowd when he was mistaken for one of their men because of his appearance, and they rushed up and beat him up. Another thing is that when he walks on the street, people all walk past him quickly with their heads down. There are even quite a few people who know him and who, as parents, use his appearance to scare their disobedient children. Shi Yong was helpless, but his appearance destined him to be seen as, not to be trifled with, by others. Although he looked like a bad guy, he did a lot of good deeds, such as helping people push their carts, helping the elderly cross the road, and chasing away bullying teenagers. In the end, he died while saving a little girl who had fallen into the water. As Qin Shishi and the others watched Shi Yong proudly recount his life story, they all wanted to applaud him. You can't judge a book by its cover. Shi Yong is a good person. After hearing Shi Yong's explanation, Yu Wenwen understood that he was afraid they would misunderstand him because of his appearance, so he pulled Ji Yu Hao out for a lecture. Yu Wenwen earnestly advised Ji Yu Hao, "Tone down that cold expression of yours. It scares people into thinking you're hostile towards them, and they don't dare to talk to you anymore." Yes, Shi Yong chose to greet Qin Shishi and the others entirely because he was frightened by Ji Yu Hao's unfriendly gaze, so he quickly greeted them to avoid them misunderstanding him as well. Ji Yu Hao understood. Soon, after the two children finished their preparation time, the scenery in front of them became clear. As the layout of the hotel lobby gradually became clearer in Qin Shixi's eyes, she saw a beautifully sculpted Tao Xiaoxiao dressed in a princess dress, holding a ledger and smiling as she greeted new players entering the instance. When Tao Xiaoxiao realized that Qin Shixi was among the players, her eyes sparkled like stars, a big smile spread across her face. She threw the ledger on the ground, stretched out her little arms, and ran towards Qin Shixi with her short legs. Mommy, Shixi's mommy. Tao Xiaoxiao's sweet, childlike voice, filled with longing, reached Qin Shixi's ears. Qin Shixi's eyes welled up with tears, and she opened her arms to catch Tao Xiaoxiao, who rushed over to hug her. Xiaoxiao, it's been so long. Mommy Xixi missed you so much, Qin Shixi said softly as she picked up Tao Xiaoxiao. After Tao Xiaoxiao was picked up by Qin Shixi, her little body trembled slightly. She was so happy that she cried, Mommy Xixi, I almost thought that was the last time we would see each other, that I would never see you again, sob sob sob. Don't cry, Xiaoxiao, Mommy's here to see you now. Mommy will play with you a lot this time. Qin Shixi raised her hand to wipe away Tao Xiaoxiao's tears, pressed her forehead against her little head, and soothed her with a gentle voice. Oh, right, Xiaoxiao, these are Mom's friends. Qin Shixi looked up and introduced Yu Wenwen and the others to Tao Xiaoxiao. Yu Wenwen Wei Wei leaned closer to Tao Xiaoxiao, who was being held in Qin Shixi's arms, and happily introduced her, Xiaoxiao, hello. You can call me Aunt Wenwen, Uncle Shi, and Uncle Jiyu. After introducing herself, Yu Wenwen pointed to Shi Yong and Jiyu Hao, introducing them on their behalf. Hello, Aunt Wenwen, Uncle Shi, Uncle Jiyu, my name is Tao Xiaoxiao. Tao Xiaoxiao happily greeted Yu Wenwen and the others from Qin Shixi's arms. Tao Xiaoxiao assigned each of the group a suitable job, with Qin Shixi still playing Tao Xiaoxiao's mother. Qin Shixi explained to Yu Wenwen, Jiyu Hao, and the other two that the surveillance cameras installed by instance were still working and that they would encounter some difficult customers later on. Fortunately, the customers Qin Shixi encountered on the first day of the instance were exactly the same as those she encountered when she cleared the instance earlier, which saved them a lot of trouble, since they already knew in advance what kind of trouble these customers would cause. When the first guest who looked like a hairy crab came to the hotel to order food, Shi Yong volunteered to go to the hotel's back garden to dig up earthworms for him, and easily won Mr. Crab's 5-star review. Looking at the first 5-star review on the rating board, Qin Shixi was filled with emotion. This instance was the happiest she had ever experienced. Now, being able to revisit it before her last instance was truly delightful. She wondered if Jiang Yi would be able to come to this instance again. Shixi, Xiaoxiao, what are you doing here? Yu Wenwen arrived at the pool in the hotel's backyard and saw Qin Shixi and Tao Xiaoxiao fussing over something by the pool. Qin Shixi stopped what she was doing, stepped aside to reveal the items in front of her, and explained to Yu Wenwen, these are lighting equipment. We can have some fun here tonight. Yes, Aunt Wenwen, Shixi's mom and I are preparing to have a pool party tonight, Tao Xiaoxiao added to Yu Wenwen, squatting on the ground to the side and raising her little face with a happy smile. Really, I've heard Shixi mention before that she had a party with her teammates in this instance, and I was so envious. I never thought I'd get to experience the fun of having a party in a horror world. This is amazing. Yu Wenwen clapped her hands and happily stepped forward. Shixi, Xiaoxiao, I'll help too. Is there anything I can do? Qin Shixi nodded and pointed to a large grassy area next to the pool, saying, we still need to set up some tables and drinks and food here. Okay, leave these to me. I'll prepare the drinks. After saying that, Yu Wenwen turned around and went to prepare the drinks. Wait, Wenwen, is it alright for Jiyu Hao and the other guy to be greeting the guests at the front? Qin Shixi asked Yu Wenwen worriedly. Yu Wenwen stopped in her tracks and replied confidently, Shixi, don't worry, Jiyu Hao is here. Besides, you even gave him a heads up about potential problems for the guests. If he still has issues after all that, he wouldn't deserve to be called a master. That's fine then. Hearing Yu Wenwen say that, Qin Shishi felt much more at ease and turned around to continue adjusting the lighting equipment with Tao Xiaoxiao. After their first day of work at Happiness Hotel, Qin Shishi and her friends' most anticipated evening party began. Shi Yong, a big guy, came to the backyard and saw the colorful neon lights projected by the pool. His face was full of excitement. He excitedly moved over to Qin Shishi and Yu Wenwen and asked happily, "Did your guys put these up?" Qin Shishi nodded, and Yu Wenwen replied proudly, "I prepared the drinks and food, and Shishi and Xiao Xiao set up the lighting and music equipment. Everyone, come and try the party food I made. And the drinks were the best I bought from the system store." After Yu Wenwen finished speaking, everyone happily enjoyed the carefully prepared party. Tao Xiaoxiao also invited Xiaoyu. After the party started, Xiaoyu took Tao Xiaoxiao for a fun swim in the pool. Their laughter occasionally reached the ears of Qin Shishi and others who were enjoying food and drinks on the lawn. Qin Shishi and Yu Wenwen lay leisurely on their respective deck chairs, clinking their glasses together with a crisp sound, fully enjoying the comfortable life they had created in their own terrifying world. Shi Yong stood behind Ji Yuhao, munching on the food on the table. Ji Yuhao, meanwhile, stood quietly by the table with a wine glass in hand, his gaze fixed on Yu Wenwen, who was chatting leisurely with Qin Shishi on the recliner. Shi Yong was carrying a bunch of delicious food. While eating, he looked at the others and noticed that Ji Yuhao's gaze was fixed on Yu Wenwen. So he asked curiously, "Ji Yuhao, do you like Yu Wenwen?" Ji Yuhao nodded in response to Shi Yong. Seeing that Ji Yuhao seemed easy to talk to, Shi Yong continued eating while asking, "So, are you two together?" "We're together now," Ji Yuhao said, a faint smile appearing on his face. Shi Yong continued, puzzled, "Then why do I feel like she's not really paying attention to you?" Upon hearing this, Ji Yuhao's smile vanished instantly, and he turned to Shi Yong with an impatient expression, saying, "Don't talk while you are eating, or you'll choke." Upon hearing this, Shi Yong was so startled by Ji Yuhao's sudden change in attitude that he choked. He quickly put down the delicious food in his arms and used his free hand to pour himself some wine to soothe himself. Ji Yuhao, feeling frustrated by Shi Yong's question, downed his drink in one gulp, put down his glass, and turned to leave. Ji Yuhao and Yu Wenwen officially got together in the previous instance. After they got together, because Li Li always teamed up with them to complete the instance, Ji Yuhao would get jealous of Li Li at times, which made Yu Wenwen not want to talk to him even though they were together because of Ji Yuhao's jealousy. Thinking about all this made Ji Yuhao feel depressed. Lying leisurely on the recliner, Qin Shishi watched Ji Yuhao's departing figure, put down the wine she was about to sip, and turned to ask Yu Wenwen, "Wenwen, your Ji Yuhao seems a little unhappy." Yu Wenwen looked in the direction Qin Shishi indicated, her smile fading, and replied helplessly, "Let him have some peace and quiet for now. I'll go check on him later. This guy is prone to getting jealous over nothing. He was always going against Li Li earlier because he was jealous of her. There's no one in this instance that makes him jealous." Qin Shishi chuckled and reminded him, "Why not? This instance also includes me and Shi Yong. We should be enough to make him jealous." Qin Shishi, "Jing Yi is such a jealous person, she gets jealous even over the smallest things. Ji Yuhao, she doesn't know much about her, but when it comes to analyzing why men in love get angry, the reasons are probably all pretty much the same." Yu Wenwen thought for a moment, then said in disbelief, "No way, Shishi, you're a girl, and Shi Yong is just a new teammate you just met. How could he be jealous of you too?" Upon hearing this, Qin Shishi shook her head and, with a knowing look in her eyes, reminded Yu Wenwen, "Wenwen, men in love will be jealous of anything. You have to be careful to protect yourself." Upon hearing this, Yu Wenwen's gaze lingered in the direction Ji Yuhao had gone. After pondering for a moment, she put down her wine glass, stood up, told Qin Shishi, and went to find Ji Yuhao. Qin Shishi watched Yu Wenwen's retreating figure, took a sip of her wine, and smiled slightly, a hint of maternal affection on her lips. She thought to herself, Wenwen's wine purchase is really good, a pleasant buzz is just right. At night, after the party ended, Qin Shi took Tao Xiaoxiao, who wanted to sleep in the same room as her, back to her room. The others also gradually returned to their own rooms to rest. Yu Wenwen's room was on the third floor. After Shi Yong returned to his room to rest, Yu Wenwen, who was walking behind him, and Ji Yu Hao, whose rooms were opposite each other, stood by their respective doors and looked at each other for a while. Looking at Ji Yu Hao, Yu Wenwen couldn't help but recall the time she chased after him to see him earlier, how she somehow comforted him and ended up embracing and kissing him passionately for a long time, until their lips were red and swollen. Thinking of all this, the somewhat naive Yu Wenwen felt her face burning. Although she had been bold in pursuing people before, she had never truly been in a relationship. Thinking of that sudden kiss, she was a little afraid to look Ji Yu Hao in the eye. She hurriedly said goodnight to him and then tried to close the door. However, a tall figure swiftly pulled the door shut behind her. Yu Wenwen looked at Ji Yu Hao, who was stuck in the crack of the door and looking down at himself, with some surprise. She asked in confusion, "What's wrong? Is there anything else you want to say?" Ji Yu Hao's face was half in the corridor light and half hidden in the darkness of Yu Wenwen's unlit room. His expression was no longer as cold and ruthless as before, but revealed a hint of tenderness and a smile. His eyes were somewhat dark, and his voice was slightly hoarse with a hint of drunkenness as he said, "Wenwen, is what you just told me true?" Which sentence? Yu Wenwen remembered that she had said a lot to Ji Yu Hao when she chased after him to comfort him, so she was not sure which sentence he wanted to ask. Upon hearing this, Ji Yu Hao felt a tightness in his chest when he saw Yu Wenwen's forgetful attitude. He sighed, bent down and whispered in Yu Wenwen's ear, "You said you only like me, and as long as I don't change my mind, you will always like me." Yu Wenwen felt Ji Yu Hao's hot breath spraying on her skin. Now, not only was her face hot, but her head was also burning. She pressed her hand to her pounding heart, turned her head away from Ji Yu Hao's face, and stammered, "Yes, it's true. Why would I lie to you about something like this?" Ji Yu Hao gently turned Yu Wenwen's head, his eyes filled with deep affection, and his voice was solemn, "Wenwen, it's the same for me. I like you and want to love you, but when I see you chatting so happily with others, but not so talkative with me, it makes me very sad. I want to be a part of your happiness, but you seem a little reserved and not very happy when you're with me." Yu Wenwen heard Ji Yu Hao's words, which initially sounded like a confession, gradually turn into words tinged with displeasure. She frowned, waved her hand, and stopped Ji Yu Hao from speaking. "Stop, stop, stop. What nonsense are you thinking now? When we're together, which eye of yours saw me unhappy?" Chapter 141 Don't let him face the ghost guest alone. Yu Wenwen stared wide-eyed at Ji Yu Hao in disbelief, saying angrily, "What nonsense are you thinking? Why am I unhappy? I'm just trying not to show my emotions, afraid you'll become arrogant and complacent." And seeing that Yu Wenwen wasn't unhappy about being with him, Ji Yu Hao's heart finally settled down. He smiled and leaned in to kiss her, silencing Yu Wenwen's chattering lips. Dizzy from the kisses, Yu Wenwen, perhaps emboldened by the alcohol, took the initiative. She wouldn't kiss, but she would retaliate. Her little hand directly attacked Ji Yu Hao's 8-pack abs. After succeeding, Yu Wenwen gave Ji Yu Hao a provocative smile as his lips left hers. Ji Yu Hao's eyes darkened. He had originally planned to go back to his room to rest after the kiss, but Yu Wenwen's inappropriate touch made his rationality begin to crumble. He scooped up Yu Wenwen, who was laughing triumphantly after her success, and leaned close to her ear, his voice deep as he said, "Touching those 8-pack abs like this isn't enough. Dare to let me in, and give it another try." Upon hearing this arrogant voice, Yu Wenwen was instantly spurred into action. "Of course I'm brave. If you dare let me touch you, I'm not afraid at all. Ji Yuhao lowered his eyes and remained silent. He carried Yu Wenwen into the room, and with a gentle kick, the door closed. Ruler v. Ruler. Qin Shishi was telling Tao Xiao a story when the two of them, one human and one ghost, fell asleep. Late at night, a tall, slender figure entered through the door, came to Qin Shishi's side, leaned down and kissed her gently, then lay down on her, holding her close as they fell asleep. Horror Instance Day 2 at Happiness Hotel. Qin Shishi woke up in Jiangyi's arms, somewhat surprised. She rubbed her sleepy eyes and groggily tried to kiss Jiangyi, but he stopped her. Seeing the confusion in Qin Shishi's eyes, Jiangyi gently ruffled Qin Shishi's messy hair and said in a gentle voice, Xiao is still watching. Upon hearing this, Qin Shishi instantly woke up and turned to look at Tao Xiao, who had slept with her the night before. Tao Xiao stared at Qin Shishi and Jiangyi with the curiosity of a child. Seeing Qin Shishi looking over, Tao Xiao smiled innocently. Mom, you are awake. I don't know when Dad came. I even made a bet with Dad that if Mom woke up before lunch, I would dance for her, and Dad would have to sleep separately from us. What if I wake up after lunch? Qin Shishi asked Jiangyi and Tao Xiao with a puzzled look. That means Dad will dance for Mom, and I'll sleep separately from both Mom and Dad, Tao Xiao said, sounding a little downcast. Qin Shishi, so what time did I wake up? Mom woke up after lunch, Tao Xiao said, pouting. Qin Shishi chuckled and ruffled Tao Xiao's hair, saying apologetically, I'm sorry, Xiao, Mommy drank a little too much yesterday. I didn't expect the alcohol to be so strong, which is why I'm only now waking up. It's okay, Mom, I'm all grown up now, I can sleep alone, and Dad is going to dance for you. Tao Xiao said, covering her mouth to stifle a laugh, her eyes brimming with anticipation as she talked about Jiangyi dancing. Jiangyi raised an eyebrow and shattered Tao Xiao's expectations with a single sentence. I said I'd dance for your mom, not for you. HMPH, fine, I won't watch it then. It'll be the same if Mom watches it and tells me. Tao Xiao said defiantly. Qin Shishi watched the two people beside her, one big and one small, bickering, and asked Jiangyi with a smile, when are you planning to dance for me? I'll tell Xiao about her dad's dance moves. Jiangyi wasn't annoyed by the teasing. She just smiled and said, I can dance for you tonight, baby. You'd better watch carefully. Jiangyi's impure gaze and his suggestive reply made Qin Shishi's ears turn red. She coughed a few times, glanced at Jiangyi, and then got up to pick up Tao Xiao and take her to the bathroom to wash up. After washing up, Qin Shishi took Tao Xiao to get something to eat. As a ghost, Tao Xiao doesn't actually need to eat, but she is willing to eat with Qin Shishi, and Jiangyi is the same. At the Happiness Hotel's front desk, Shi Yong was alone, serving guests according to the methods taught by Qin Shishi. Shi Yong, how come they all disappeared after the pool party? Are they still asleep? Should we knock on their doors? Or did something happen to them? After resolving the issue raised by a guest who checked in that morning, Shi Yong took advantage of his free time at noon to knock on Ji Yuhao's door. Seeing that Ji Yuhao hadn't answered the door after knocking for a long time, Shi Yong worriedly knocked on the door of Yu Wenwen's room, which was across from Ji Yuhao's. Knock, knock, knock. Is anyone home? Shi Yong tried his best to keep his voice steady. He was really afraid that something would happen to his teammates who hadn't shown up yet. If he were left to go through this instance alone, he would be terrified. Shi Yong knocked on the door several times, thinking that no one was in Yu Wenwen's room and she was planning to leave, when the door opened. Ji Yuhao frowned, looking impatient, and asked Shi Yong, is there something wrong? Shi Yong looked at Ji Yuhao in surprise, wondering why he was in Yu Wenwen's room, when he suddenly noticed several suspicious red and purple marks on Ji Yuhao's neck. Shi Yong, turns out I was worrying for nothing. Damn it, are single people destined to entertain guests alone? But, your battle is pretty intense. Ji Yuhao blocked Shi Yong's view into the room, his eyes threatening, and asked him again, "What is it?" Shi Yong awkwardly looked away and explained, "I didn't see you all morning, so I thought something had happened to you and came to check on you." "Okay, we'll be there in a bit." After saying that, Ji Yu Hao closed the door. This time, Shi Yong, as a first-time participant and a player with a lower level than Qin Shishi and the others, streamed the event live. Haha, Shi Yong, you've interrupted their good time. Didn't Beauty Shishi give instructions yesterday on how to entertain those ghost guests? You could have handled it yourself. Why are you here to witness their romance? To the person upstairs, as a longtime fan, let me tell you, Shi Yong is incredibly timid. His teammates were busy dating, leaving him alone to deal with the ghost guests. He must have been terrified. Putting everything else aside, yesterday I thought Ji Yu Hao and Beauty Wenwen were having a fight, but I never expected them to stay together since they came back last night. Oh my god, last night they... How do you know they were in the same room last night, and not that they went there in the middle of the night or early morning? Upstairs, you are missing the point. The point isn't when they were in the same room, it's that their battle looks intense. Ha ha ha. Shi Yong sighed deeply, then turned around and went in another direction to find Qin Shishi. He was so lonely running the shop alone. Someone had to come and save him, so he wouldn't have to face the ghost customers alone. Chapter 141. Don't let him face the ghost guest alone. Chapter 142. So they are a couple in name only. Shi Yong heard yesterday that Qin Shishi is staying in this room, and that he should come to her if he has any guests he can't handle. Looking at the room with the sign that read, "Mom and Dad's room," Shi Yong was a little confused, but he still mustered up his courage and knocked on the door. After knocking a few times, a stunningly handsome man who could dazzle Shi Yong opened the door. My goodness, I thought Ji Yu Hao was handsome enough, but there's someone even more handsome. Oh my god, my husband. I absolutely love his looks and his charm. He's totally my type. Is this handsome guy a player? How come he's so good looking but not on the player rankings? Oh my god, I know him. He's a ghost NPC. He rarely appears in S-rank instances. I heard he appeared in the Calm Divorce instance before, and screenshots of his live stream went viral in player chat groups. He used to appear in this Happiness Hotel instance, but after I reached level 50, I specifically chose this instance to see him in person, but he wasn't there. He's not in this instance anymore. Wah, everyone, does anyone understand? Upstairs, I get it. I also made a wasted trip. This Jiang NPC never showed up, and nobody still understands why he appeared in the instance. When Shi Yong saw the handsome man who opened the door, and was swept over by his sharp gaze, Shi Yong felt a chill run down her spine. Jiang Yi narrowed his eyes, staring at Shi Yong, and coldly asked, "What is it?" Shi Yong nodded and shook his head tremblingly. Just as Jiang Yi was about to close the door, a small head peeked out from inside. It was Tao Xiaoxiao, wearing pajamas. Tao Xiaoxiao asked in a soft, sweet voice, "Uncle Shi, this is my dad. Shishi's mom is still sleeping. Is there something you need to see her about? Should I go wake her up?" Looking at the guard standing in the door, staring at him with hostility, Shi Yong swallowed hard and stammered, "No, nothing serious, don't wake her. I just came to ask, Shishi, no, Xiao, is your mother still having a pool party tonight? When Shi Yong uttered the word, Shishi, he was met with Jiang Yi's icy gaze. He immediately realized he had misspoke and quickly changed his address to Qin Shishi, racking his brains to find an excuse for himself. "Since you are asking about the party, let's talk about it when she wakes up. Do you have anything else to do?" Jiang Yi's emotionless voice reached Shi Yong's ears, making him even more nervous. He hurriedly left with a, "It's nothing," and ran off in a panic. The way he left looked as if he were being chased by wolves and tigers. Tao Xiaoxiao looked at Shi Yong's back and shook her head sympathetically. After sighing helplessly, Tao Xiaoxiao looked up and tugged at Jiangyi's sleeve, reminding him, Dad, Mom told me yesterday that although Uncle Shi looks a bit bad, he's a good person and very timid. Don't scare him. Tao Xiaoxiao, I didn't even take my head off to play with it, because Shi's mom told me to. How come Uncle Shi was so scared that he almost cried just because his dad opened the door? It seems he's even more timid than his mom said. Jiangyi. Epsilon, hollow circle. For all backquote, Z epsilon. For all backquote, Z. In the afternoon, when Qin Shishi appeared before everyone with Tao Xiaoxiao and Jiangyi, Yu Wenwen happily went up to greet them. Yu Wenwen squinted at Qin Shishi and Jiangyi with a mischievous grin, pulled Qin Shishi aside, and asked in a low voice, he's in this instance too, right? You guys yesterday. Qin Shishi tapped Yu Wenwen on the head without hesitation, replying in a low voice, what are you thinking? Xiaoxiao is in the same room as us. As she finished speaking, Qin Shishi noticed two suspicious red marks on Yu Wenwen's fair neck, which was vaguely covered by her clothes. She was somewhat surprised, then raised an eyebrow and smiled mischievously, but you might not be so sure. Tell me, who did that naughty thing with you last night? Yu Wenwen blushed, waved her hand, and said somewhat incoherently, what did you say? I don't understand. Qin Shishi, wow, she's really good at teasing her sisters, but when it comes to herself, she's just like someone trying to hide something obvious, ha ha ha. Qin Shishi couldn't let this rare opportunity slip by, so she pressed her advantage, saying, Wenwen, let me guess, where was Ji Yu Hao last night? Okay, I surrender, TT, you know that, don't say anymore, I. Seeing Yu Wenwen raise her hands in surrender, her face showing a shy and embarrassed expression, Qin Shishi asked her softly, what's wrong? Just ask whatever you want to ask. Yu Wenwen turned her head and looked around. Seeing that no one was paying attention to them, she said somewhat awkwardly, Shishi, yesterday was my first time, it hurt so much. I feel like he wasn't very good at it either. Qin Shishi looked at Yu Wenwen with sympathy and said with some difficulty, well, if you tell me this, I probably can't help much. Yu Wenwen, feeling guilty, blurted out, I secretly watched before, and I didn't see them looking like they were in pain. Why do I feel so much pain? Qin Shishi shook her head and said, how about you see a doctor? Cough cough, or maybe your partner's skills aren't up to par. This was Yu Wenwen's first time using such technology, and she wasn't sure if it was any good. She asked Qin Shishi with doubt, Shishi, where do we find a doctor in this horror world? And how do we tell if the technology is up to par? Qin Shishi pondered this profound question for a moment, then whispered a potentially effective method to Yu Wenwen. Upon hearing this, Yu Wenwen happily patted Qin Shishi on the shoulder, her face full of emotion, and said, Shishi, my best friend. It's so good to have you. After saying that, Yu Wenwen went to find Ji Yu Hao, who was helping the terrified Shi Yong deal with the guests who would be checking in that afternoon. Seeing that his wife had finished her private chat with Yu Wenwen, Jiangyi pulled Tao Xiaoxiao over. Baby, what's wrong? Jiangyi asked with concern, looking at Qin Shishi's worried expression. Tao Xiaoxiao, Mom, what's wrong? Why are you staring in the direction Aunt Wenwen left? Qin Shishi shook her head, suppressing her earlier worry about Yu Wenwen, and smiled, it's nothing. Aunt Wenwen wasn't feeling well and asked if I knew anything to help. I was just worried about her. You don't need to worry about me. As Qin Shishi spoke, she looked up at Jiangyi and gave him a reassuring look. After settling the guests in the afternoon, Qin Shishi and the others started the pool party again. Unlike yesterday, there's Jiangyi today. Shi Yong learned that Jiangyi was the father NPC arranged by Tao Xiaoxiao, the mini-boss of this terrifying instance, and that Qin Shishi was arranged to be the mother. So they were a couple in name only, which is why Jiangyi was hostile to him. Chapter 143 Could it be? I can't read this either. Shi Yong found a reason for Jiangyi's hostility that morning, and fortunately, it had a great comforting effect. By the afternoon, he was no longer so afraid of Jiangi. What Shi Yong probably didn't expect was that Qin Shi and Jiangi were more than just a couple in name only. After the party ended on the second night, Jiangi picked up the slightly drunk Qin Shi and carried her to their room, only to be blocked by the pitiful Tao Xiaoxiao. Tao Xiaoxiao asked Jiangi somewhat hesitantly, "Dad, how about the bed starts tomorrow night? Can I continue sleeping with you tonight?" Jiangi gave Tao Xiaoxiao a look, letting her figure it out herself. Tao Xiaoxiao, "Fine, I admit defeat." Tao Xiaoxiao watched Jiangi and Qin Shi's departing figures, feeling heartbroken. At such a young age, she already understood the dangers of gambling, and she vowed she would never dare to do it again. After Xiaoyu climbed out of the pool on two human legs, she went to Tao Xiaoxiao, who looked distraught, and asked her with concern, "Xiaoxiao, what's wrong?" Tao Xiaoxiao looked up, stretched out her little arms to hug Xiaoyu, and said with tears in her eyes, "Xiaoyu, I will never make bets with anyone again, wah." Although Xiaoyu didn't know exactly why Xiaoxiao was sad, he comforted her as always, "Xiaoxiao, it's okay, don't be sad, I'll take you for another swim." Jiangi carried Qin Shi back to the room and carefully placed her on the soft bed. Qin Shi suddenly left Jiangi's embrace and landed on the comfortable bed. She slowly opened her eyes, looked at the ceiling above in a daze, smacked her lips, and murmured, "Water, I want to drink water." Upon hearing this, Jiangi thoughtfully poured water for her, helped Qin Shi up, and fed her the water. After drinking the water, the effects of the alcohol that had made Qin Shi dizzy subsided a bit. She glanced at Jiangi, who was supporting her, and said in a slightly hoarse voice, Guai, is the party over?" Jiangi pinched Qin Shi's nose and said with amusement, "It's over." "What, do you want to keep drinking?" I won't drink anymore. Although the wine Wenwen bought is quite delicious, it will make me drunk." "You knew you'd get drunk, yet you still drank so much." "But I'm not drunk. Right now, all I see is you, just one guai, so I'm not drunk." Helpless, Jiangi laid Qin Shi, who was still rambling drunkenly after drinking water, onto the bed and turned to put a water glass down. He turned around and saw Qin Shi sitting up again, staring at him with a strange look in her eyes. Jiangi was a little confused as he met Qin Shi's eyes, which were both hazy and slightly clear. Qin Shi grinned, pulled Jiangi in front of her, pressed her flushed face against Jiangi's chest, and said with a smile, Guai, I want to watch your dance." Jiangi Wei raised her eyebrows, her deep, doting eyes fixed on Qin Shi, then slowly leaned down and whispered in her ear. He asked softly in a seductive and deep voice, "Baby, are you completely sober now? I won't dance for someone who's drunk and not fully awake." Jiangi's breath brushed against Qin Shi's ear, bringing a tingling sensation that made her heart race. I'm awake. I'm not drunk. Guai, does that mean I can't watch either?" Qin Shi snuggled against Jiangi, her voice soft and sweet, a hint of drunken coquetry in her voice. "Okay, I'll dance for you now, but my dance is only suitable for dancing in bed. Do you really want to see it, baby?" Jiangi's eyes were dark. When he saw Qin Shi nod and say she was sure she wanted to watch, his Adam's apple bobbed, as if a small beast was restless in his throat, ready to burst out at any moment. ... Happiness Hotel. The guests who have come to instance these past few days have all been handled very well by players like Qin Shi, except for Mr. Mao. After completing the exchange meeting he requested, his watch went missing again. Following Qin Shi's instructions, Shi Yong searched for the watch inside the bellies of salted fish, but even after emptying the bellies of more than a dozen salted fish, he still couldn't find the watch. He hurriedly knocked on the door of Qin Shi's room, but thankfully it wasn't Jiangi who opened it for him this time. Shi Yong frowned and asked Qin Shi anxiously, "Beauty Shi, Mr. Mao's watch isn't inside the salted fish. I've searched all the salted fish, but it's not there." What should we do? Qin Shishi looked relaxed and comforted him. Don't worry, I'll go with you to the monitoring room to check the surveillance footage. We should be able to find out where Mr. Mao hid the watch this time. Great, let's go quickly. I should have gone to look for Mr. Mao's watch immediately after he lost it the day before yesterday, but the way the previous customers handled things was so smooth that I got carried away. We only have one afternoon left before our appointment with Mr. Mao. Will we make it in time? Shi Yong said worriedly as they walked. Qin Shishi also quickened her pace to the monitoring room. This isn't your fault. None of us expected Mr. Mao to change the location where he hid the things. Shi Yong, Ji Yu Hao and Beauty Wenwen contacted Mr. Mao's friends yesterday, and they were able to bring them here today to witness. But I made a mistake. It's all my fault. I had to wait until today to start looking for the watch, which has made things urgent now. Qin Shishi looked at Shi Yong, a big guy, with a regretful expression because he couldn't find his watch, and she didn't know how to comfort him. After Qin Shishi led Shi Yong to the monitoring room, Jiang Yi followed leisurely with Tao Xiaoxiao. Monitoring room. Beauty Shishi, I found it. Mr. Mao hid the watch in a flower pot in the backyard. Shi Yong excitedly pointed to Mr. Mao, who was secretly leaving on the surveillance video. Qin Shishi, who was also looking at the surveillance footage next to Shi Yong, got up and her gaze fell on the surveillance video that Shi Yong had paused. Qin Shishi, great, let's go get the watch now. On the last afternoon of the Happiness Hotel horror instance, Qin Shishi and several other players followed the method Qin Shishi had used in the instance to get Mr. Mao to reluctantly rate the hotel 5 stars. The last guest in this instance has finally been successfully dealt with. Qin Shishi and the other players breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time felt incredibly excited and satisfied. They continued the party in high spirits, reveling in the joy of victory. The party atmosphere that night was incredibly lively, filled with laughter and joy. Players congratulated each other, exchanged tips, and shared their exciting moments and unforgettable experiences in instance. Qin Shishi smiled as she looked at her companions, her heart filled with emotion. Yu Wenwen raised her glass again and leisurely drank with Qin Shishi. In a good mood, she said, Shishi, this instance is about to end. I wonder if we'll ever have another chance to clear an instance together. Qin Shishi was about to reach level 100, and although she was reluctant to part ways, she still solemnly said goodbye to Yu Wenwen and the others. At midnight, the system's mechanical voice reached the ears of Qin Shishi and other players precisely on time. A flash of white light appeared, and Jiang Yi, holding Tao Xiaoxiao's hand, watched them leave. The pool party, which had been filled with laughter and joy, fell silent in an instant, as if time had stopped flowing.